All right, here we are live in the Copper Coin Studio in Smithfield, North Carolina. Weather is nice outside. It's a great day. We're going to get started on a 1959 D roll. This is reveal number 854. Hey, Frosty, how you doing? Let's get coin number 1. Out and Down Dan McCumber. A lot of RPMs known for 1959. A couple of double die obverses, maybe a double die reverse or so. But it's much better known for its repunch mint marks. Let's keep looking. There's Frosty, Doug, Rockzilla. We're all here, right? Time to get the show on the road. Well, I got nothing on that side of coin 1. Oh, here we go. There's a double die reverse. How about that? Double die reverse on the first coin in the roll. You can see how the landing on the bottoms of these letters. Let me get it in a little better light here. Okay, with that low light you can see that right over here we have an extra thick landing on the bottom of the E, on the bottom of the N, and the C here is a little thicker than it should be. Getting down to the point of actually having a separation on the N and the T, and the initials should be nicely separated. There we go. Nice separation on the initials there. Let me get that focused in, get it a little brighter for you so we can see it, and it'll give you a good idea of what we're looking at. You can see here how the tip of the G out here is doubled, and it's a little thick here, it's a little thick here in the F, and it's actually extended outward beyond where it should be on the F. And if we look up here to the A, there might actually be a notch in the bottom of the A. Yep, there is. There's a little bit of a notch right here in the bottom of the A. So it's a nice double die. And it's for Dan. Yes, it is. Let's back out a little more. All right. Now that we've seen that this is a double die reverse, we will flip it back over and look on the obverse for a marker. Okay. A bunch of nice die scratches below the mint mark. However, the one that I'm really looking at is this dot right here, right down below the D on the edge of the vest. And then we've got a big scratch between the 9 and the 5. So that will mark that as a good coin to continue looking for in this roll. Here's coin number 2 now. Steve and coin number 2. It's not the double die reverse that we've been seeing. This is something different entirely, if anything. Get my hand out of the way here. Sometimes I forget to move my hand out of the way. Let's see. Okay, nothing on that side. Let's check the reverse real quick. And there is nothing on this reverse. Very nice coins in this roll, it appears. Greetings and salutations, Dirty Water, Dan McCumber. Let's see, Jim Fletcher is here too. All right, coin number 3 for Mickey. Let's see what we get for Mickey. This is the enjoyable part of doing this job, is when you actually are finding stuff and people are getting excited and there's something there to share, you know? Gets a little boring when there's nothing to look for. I'm 35 coins into a roll and I haven't found anything yet. It gets a little boring there toward the end. But it's how we all it's how we all feel toward the end of a not so great roll. But you know, I have had those instances where the only thing you find in the entire roll is in the last 5 coins. And it's it's invigorating, but it's also frustrating because then that just gives you the sign. It tells you that you're going to be looking through every coin in every roll if you want to find the good stuff, because it may not be until you get to the 45th coin that you're going to find the good stuff that you're looking for. And so it can be, well, a real pain in the derriere, you might say. All rewraps, 70s and earlier. Hey, that's not bad. But to be able to get a box of pennies these days is, it's a feat. Oh, hey, looky there. We're going to have the double die reverse right here. Yeah, we've got that little die dot right down here at the bottom, right below the D, and we've got that one bigger die scratch running between the 9 and the 5. So it's going to be the double die reverse, and this is going to go to Tim Weber. Don't have anything on the obverse of these particular coins, but that's okay because the reverse makes up for it. Let's check the initials. Oh yeah, there we go. There it is. Nice double die. You can also see in some cases you'll also be able to see this separation line here along the bottom of the N where the doubling occurred, and might even be able to see it on this N very, very slightly, but not much. But there it is, another one of the double dies. So we're finding double dies in this roll, but no RPMs so far. That's okay. Double dies are less common than RPMs anyway for some reason. Evolution Revolution. Probably because the RPMs are done by hand. A lot better chance of making an error when it's a person using a punch than when it's a machine doing its job. Alright, let's check the reverse on this one. And we have a normal coin. How about coin number 7, Brad? Yeah, I see nothing so far. Got 2 reveals scheduled for today. Then I have one scheduled, or actually 2 more scheduled for tomorrow in the evening time. And that will put me down to 1 remaining for the week. And then Monday, we will be running another reveal sale show. And I believe Eric will have his normal 4 or 5 rolls, and I will have 5 rolls available for the following week. You save your milk money, because I got some good rolls coming up. That's the same die we've seen here with that little mark below the D. So it's got nothing on the reverse. What is an omega cent? I don't get it. Is that omega as in the end of the alphabet, the end of the road? Or are they marked with an omega somewhere? Like the old double eagles were the fake double eagles that, I think they're 1908 double eagles that are fake. And they're marked with an omega in the eagle's talon. Now, I've seen photographs of that, a few photographs of it, and I've never been able to find it. Never been able to pick it out. A privy mark. I had no idea. Well, there's a good way to turn nothing into something, right? Yeah, Doug, here's the issue with that. They're going to believe what they're told by their management. They're not going to care what you say. They're not going to care what I say. And that's the hard truth of it is there is no shortage. There's not going to be a shortage for quite a while. We've got plenty of pennies left in circulation to successfully use them in commerce for at least another 10 to 15 years. But it's it's going to be a cold day in hell when they start believing customers instead of whatever their management told them, and the management's being fed a bunch of crap by some government official who wants to stop cash altogether. And the first step toward that is to make it so that people won't use pennies anymore. I mean, I use pennies to get to the exact dollar amount on items that I purchase. I use pennies to make change when I need to. When I would be at a coin show or something and somebody would buy a book or supplies and the tax money would come out to some number of cents that doesn't end in a 5 or a 0. Kurt, why 232 sets? That doesn't make sense. Why not make enough sense to count back to, what would that be, 250, 260, 258 is what there should be. That's how many years they made pennies. 258 years. That's how many sets there should be. The number of years the 1 cent was minted, 232. 1790. Oh yeah, that's right. Wait a minute. The 250th of the U.S. Mint was in 2017. That's why we had a Philadelphia Mint mark. That was the 250th. And so 2027 would be the 260th. And 258 would be the proper number for this year. No, not the 250th celebration of Lincoln's birthday, Frosty. That was the 200th in 1909 or 2009. He was born in 1809. So 250 years back was long before he was born. I don't know where my math is going, but it's not the same as the mint. Now, Loomis isn't hoarding them. It's just that you're just not seeing them because there weren't as many put out there, and the ones that were put out there were quickly snatched up by collectors. Coin number 14 now for Jim. It's looking like that one double die reverse is pretty much what we're going to get in this roll. I'm not seeing any repunchment marks, which is a little unusual, but it's not completely unheard of. Let's see here. Right, understood, Kurt, but being in the place where the mint is doesn't change anything about their distribution. They distribute coins to Denver just like they distribute coins to Minneapolis. You're not going to find more of them just because you happen to be in the proximity of where they're made. They are nice coins. I'm liking this roll. Really nice, sharp coins. It's too bad we couldn't find a really nice RPM or really nice, hefty double die with our nice-looking coins. Oh, the Omega coins are all going to Stacks and Bowers. Well, that is kind of eccentric there, giving somebody a big advantage. Was this is the Mint the owner and they're consigning to Stacks and Bowers? Is that how that works? Let's just make it impossible for collectors to get coins that were made to be collected. Let's just do that. Yep, that's how we can do it. Let's just take the fun out of collecting altogether and make it so that collectors cannot get a hold of coins the Mint is making. You know, the facility owned by the people of the United States. I've got a level head. You calling me flat-headed? That's what my wife says I have sometimes. She says, man, you're awful dense for a smart guy. Right? Should have been one of those things where they took them and sprinkled them out into circulation and let people hunt for them. They had a great idea with the W Mint quarters. They should have done something like that. I still think is the one outgoing big bam that they should do with the Lincoln Cent is make an all counties commemorative set and put them in circulation, kind of like the statehood quarters. We can do the county hood pennies. It's going to be, 3,500 different ones for each mint. That way you've got over 10,000 different coins if you're doing PD&S. Johnny, new channel subscriber. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the family. We are doing what's called a reveal. What we have is a roll of coins that has been prescribed and predetermined as the roll that we're going to be going through at this particular time. On Monday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm in North Carolina, you can join us and purchase your spots in these rolls, and the spot gives you a coin. Right now we're looking at Shinbone's coin. That's what that camera on the right-hand side says. And in looking through these coins, we're finding anything that is different, odd, or unique about them, like double dies, errors, anything like that. And the person whose coin this is actually gets that coin. So I'm actually putting it in the holder for Shinbone. It's going to go to Shinbone. Shinbone owns that coin now. We have found good stuff. We have found plain normal stuff. It's one of those chances you take when you open a roll. Well, it's going to be one of those chances you take when we open the roll together. Anything that happens to be a die variety is attributed as such, and you get a new flip insert that tells you what that die variety is, signed by, or no, if it happens to be one that we use for photographs on coppercoins.com, you will get your flip insert signed by the person who adds the coin to the website, which these days is generally Eric. Robert Bruce, good day to you. Taco John, up next here. So far in this roll, we have found a grand total of 2 examples of a single double die, and nothing more yet. This is not one of them. All the idle time for those presses and workers. I don't know. Especially if they dump the nickel, too. What they should do is fill it up with making $1, $2, and $5 coins and get rid of the notes for those denominations. That would take a lot of work away from the BEP, who could spend more time, I don't know, making art, going to coin shows and doing engraving. Lunch break penny hunt, that's what it is. Now, generally, who said that? Where did it go? Robert Bruce. Generally, when you speak of errors, you're talking about things that are easily noticed with the naked eye on a coin, and it adds value because of its interesting characteristics and the fact that it's not very commonly allowed to escape the mint. When we're looking for repunch mint marks and double dies and things of that nature, we have to look under a microscope to see them because, well, our eyes just aren't good enough to focus in on things that small. And those are called die varieties, not errors. Just to be very clear on a term. So those are die varieties, looking for repunch mint marks, looking for double dies, over dates, repunch dates. Right now we're just kind of thumbing through the closing half of the roll here to see if we can happen to find any other examples of that nice little double die we were finding there in the beginning of the roll. Coin number 5 was the last one we have found. Here's 26. Jim Fletcher. I do repeat things quite often on this show, and the reason I do that is because, well, there's always that chance, even with someone who's been watching for years, that it might be the first time they've actually heard something that kind of jogs their memory or tickles their intellect, and they learn something from it. And that's my main goal with what I do, is teaching people. Hello, AJ. What's going on, Alex? ¿Qué pasó, amigo? Let's see here. Still no double dies. Let's see if Carl changes that luck. Get back into... Nope, that's not one of them either. Well, and here and there you'll notice me flip a coin over and take a look on the reverse anyway. Just because we might be running into something new that we haven't seen before. And doesn't take very long. Doesn't cost anything. And, well, it's my show. I am doing well, Alex. Today is a good day. I've seen better, but I've seen much worse. Well, thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. A lot of these coins are turning out to be earlier die state, which is why they are nice and sharp on the outside edges of the digits, and the fields are nice and smooth. Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, this obverse here is an early die state. You can tell because there's not really much of anything for flow lines headed out toward the outer edge of the coin. You can see a few of them here and there, but they're not going to be very easily visible. This is flow right here. This is a die scratch. This is flow. So I'm not talking about flow as in the waitress in the diner. I'm talking about flow like a river. Because the molecules of steel from the die actually tend to part the surface of the die and run outward toward the edge of the design, kind of like rain on your windshield when you're driving down the interstate. And those leave trails, just like the raindrops do. And those trails are what you're seeing on the coin. That's right, Brad. I thought I would save people that little phrase, and now you're making me want to say it. Kiss my grits. Anybody who knows Alice. Just here recently this year, the last regular cast member of that show passed away, and that was Flo herself. The rest have been gone for a while. We don't even really have any late die state coins to show you in this particular roll, I don't believe. Otherwise, I would contrast the early die state with the late die state and show you the difference. Almost all of the coins in this roll are very early. Nice early strike. This is where the grading companies got it wrong when they're talking about first strikes. When they grade the coins, they should have done first strike only for very early die state coins. And that would have made the first strike designation a very valuable thing. Still none of those double dies. Still working on trying to run into a third one. And we're just not seeing them. And perhaps there were only a few coins in the previous hopper made it into this particular roll, because only a few of them made it into the bag. Have any of the grading companies offered me work? No. Nor would I accept it if they offered. So, nope. According to the grading companies, I'm just a very small flea on a very big dog. So, I never actually applied at any of the grading companies because I think the job of sitting around grading coins would be one that I would rather poke myself in the eye with a chopstick. Ah, yes, the CNC machine and how they... It's not really a CNC machine, or it might be these days, but it didn't used to be. That reduces the design down to coin size, where you will see those lathe marks. And that's what they are. They're lathe marks from turning the design round and round and round to engrave that design into the master die. Actually, that's not how it's done. The design is engraved into a master hub. The master hub is used to create master dies. Master dies turn around and create working hubs, Working hubs create working dies, and then the working dies mint the coins. A lot of stages. But that's so you can get one tool to make billions of coins and not have to recreate the tool again and again. It's a reproduction process, kind of like how rabbits reproduce. One makes 3 or 4, and 3 or 4 make 15, 20, 25, 30. And that 15, 20, 25, 30 make a couple hundred, and those couple hundred end up making a couple billion. Mr. Brad, well, I appreciate your story. Thank you very much. It's one of those things where I enjoy knowing that I can help other people. And that's what I've been doing most of my life. I took the Scout Oath very seriously as a child. And I am an Eagle Scout. Went through the entire scouting program from Bobcat Cub Scout all the way up through Eagle Scout. And part of the Scout Oath is to help other people. And I figured that this would be a way that I could have fun in life and help other people. Because there's a lot of other people out there who like to collect coins that maybe didn't hit them in the intellectual noodle quite like it did me, and they need a little extra push to help them figure everything out. Now, that would depend on how long Noah was out on his journey and whether he kept the two rabbits separated during that journey. Without separation, a couple of months can equal a couple of dozen rabbits. Oh, what is their gestation period? I don't even know. All I know is a rabbit tastes good if it's cooked right. I like me some deer too. I need to go get some deer out of my freezer so I can cook up a mean pot of chili. I like my chili flavorful and spicy. Spicy. I like my chili spicy. Cayenne. Good stuff. Not finding anything else in this roll. Got a bunch of nice looking early die state coins though. I mean, this is, you want an early die state roll, here it is. Yeah, rabbit and venison are both good. So is buffalo, so is elk. I like elk. Goose is okay. It's not so great. It's a little greasier than turkey. Which turkey, if you don't do the breast meat, if you do some other part of the turkey, it seems to be a little greasy too. I've always wondered why it is that people will cook a turkey and eat all the turkey except the wings. And then where it comes to the wings of the chicken, people are especially after those. Turkey wings are just big chicken wings. What gives? Duck and andouille gumbo. Well, that would probably taste pretty good. Man, nice early die state. Wow. This die had not seen a lot of coins underneath it before these were minted. Taco John, number 46 here. And it's another one of our earlier die-state pieces. It's not going to show us any doubling. No doubling. $47. Well, Alex, if you want to come over here, I'll give you a bowl of venison chili. Got a lot of venison sausage too. Thanks to Mr. Mickey. For hunting down and getting me a deer. If you're Facebook friends with Mickey and you've seen him crouching next to a deer recently, that's the deer I have in my freezer. Oh, actually, wings on a chicken, especially when you get the drummies, those are good. I tell you what, if you're one of the poor southern people like all the people I grew up with and grew up around, you appreciate the day you get a chicken wing. All right, then. That's where we stand. Got two double die obverses for this roll. Both of them the same die. And one of them goes to Dan, the other one to Tim. That is what we've got for this roll. Join me here in about 10 minutes or so. Give me a chance to clean up here and get my other stack out. And we'll move on to the 1983D roll we have waiting in the wing. Those 83Ds, you never know when you're going to run into that FS101 double die. And if you don't look through 83Ds, you'll never find one. So join me here soon, and we'll take care of that. I appreciate it. Talk to you then.